Yeah, ma'am, now we can share the link.
Ankita, what did you say?
Yeah, so now we can share the link for YouTube video live streaming.
You will do it afterwards, Govind. Govind?
Lakshmi and Anthony.
Good evening, Dr. Chetan.
Good evening, Geeta.
Good evening, Dr. Sita. Lakshmi here.
Good evening, Lakshmi.
We will wait for a couple of minutes and we'll start in at 5:35 maybe.
No
Kunal?
problem.
Yeah, we can start now, I think. Kunal.
Okay. Okay, ma'am. So good evening, everyone. On behalf of platform,
I, Kunal Bag, would like to take this opportunity to welcome all of you to our very first capsule of season 2 under the InFocus series. As all of you are aware, under this series, we cover some of the important topics and functional areas in the industry which are most relevant to the pharma students and today in their career. Today's session, What's Next After BPharm, When and Why, is one such topic. I am sure most of us would like to hear more about this from the industry professionals. At the outset, I would like Ms. Geeta Srinivasan, the founder of Platform, to say a few words.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Geeta Srinivasan. I am the founder of Platform. Platform is actually a first of its kind forum for pharmacy students in India. We actually would are into assessing the students for their strengths and try advising them on the best area of the profession that one would like to enter after the BPharm, whether it is any of the different verticals that are there in the healthcare industry. Ankita, we are in a session now. Request you to please hold on. Yeah, sorry for that interruption. So I was saying that Platform, we are into psychometric assessment. We are into mentoring. Once a student understands what is the kind of area that one should get into, a professional helps in identifying what exactly that stream has and mentors the student. And we are also into counseling the students as to which is the best pathway to take, after the BPharm or MPharm. This ensures that the student makes a very informed decision and not does something under peer pressure or by trial and error. So we have started these services last year, and we are happy to share with all of you that we have done about 75 students assessment and counseling in these pharmacy students in this 1 year. Now, InFocus, last year we had started as an educative series, giving information to the pharma students about the various verticals in the industry. And we had about 9 capsules which covered different areas in the first season. And this year, we are starting this season today, the season 2 today. With the first capsule, and it will mainly cover the major dilemma that most of these students have, whether it is what to do after the BPharm, whether it is MPharm or MBA or something else, or take up a job, and why should one go about it and how should one go about it. That's the topic of discussion today. A warm welcome to all of you, and I take this opportunity to welcome our guest for the day today as well. Over to you, Kunal.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. But before proceeding, I would like to say that please, to the audience, please mute your mics before proceeding. Requesting the participants to please mute their mic. Yeah. Okay. I would now like to introduce the panel for today's discussion. Our first speaker for today is Dr. Chetan Doshi. Dr. Doshi is an doctorate in pharmaceutics and an proficient pharmaceutical leader with an experience of almost 3 decades in establishing, enhancing, and transforming R&D centers. In his career span, Dr. Chetan Doshi has been associated with leading pharma companies across the globe, like Novartis, Apotex, and US, as a senior R&D professional. He has handled diverse R&D portfolio and dosage forms and has proven his experience in generics, complex generics, NDDS, and NDA submissions, recognized by his peers and team for his excellent technical skills, people skills, and in-depth knowledge. Dr. Doshi has several patents, presentations, and publications to his credits. Dr. Doshi Dr. Doshi's core competencies also include innovation, drug delivery and technology, project management, regulatory and compliance protocols of the industry. Respected sir, a warm welcome to you from platform. It is our privilege to have you with us today to share your insights on the journey post BPharm and the career opportunities for us in the upcoming years. Along with Dr. Doshi, we also have our founder, Ms. Geeta Srinivasan, and Ms. Lakshmi Anantanarayan, co-founder at Platform. Lakshmi ma'am, welcome to you for today's session. So before beginning, I would like to request all the participants to mute themselves. We will be having an open question and answer session at the end of this presentation. We request all to please post or type their questions in the chat box so that they can be posted to the speakers after the session. So then, over to you, Dr. Doshi. So, for my first question, I would like to know that most of us students are always confused and anxious about what should we pursue after BPharm, like whether to study further or to take up a job. So, can you throw some light? Why would one do masters in pharmacy?
Sure. Thank you, Kunal. Thank you, Geeta, and Lakshmi for inviting me to the session.
It's our privilege.
And congratulations to all students for reaching up to this final stage of BPharm and now moving into the next phase of their career and life. Doing masters is a must now for any curriculum or any course. BPharm is a basic understanding about a particular discipline, but things have advanced to such a level that if you want a good career opportunity, you need to understand the subject and specialization in more detail. Then only opportunities do exist. However, for those students who want to be an entrepreneur and start their own business, for them, masters may not be so relevant. Masters in pharmacy may not be so relevant, and they can either start becoming an entrepreneur right now, either as a trader or something else. But for those who really want to make a career in professional organizations, for them, masters is a must. I hope that explains the difference.
Yeah, sure, sir. That was really insightful. Now, having said this, does the choice of subject in MPharm actually matters when it comes to the job opportunities, and how?
So it definitely does matter, the choice of subjects and in the masters, and where do you want to pursue your future career. It really matters a lot. There are a lot of functions in which you can take up a job if you want to, but before I go into the choice of subjects, you have to really choose a subject of your passion. You do not choose a subject because it offers you a lot more opportunity, because then eventually you will find it as more of a burden on you. So rather than doing that, you choose a subject that is a passion for you and that is of your interest. There are earlier in my days, formulation scientists were given a lot more importance, or organic scientists were given organic chemists were given a lot more importance. As we have seen, the technology is changing from small molecules to now biologics or biotechnology based molecules. So does that mean that the opportunity for formulation scientists or organic chemists are minimized? No, they are not minimized, but they are not as lucrative as it would have been for a biotechnologist or uh, or a microbiologist nowadays, because most of the companies are now looking for working on biotechnology based molecules or microbiology based molecules. So that's given. Having said that, opportunities will always exist in the analytical area. So doing MPharm in pharmaceutical analysis or even MSc in pharmaceutical analysis will also give an opportunity to work in the analytical area, and the number of jobs in analytical area are always going to be more. Of course, you will have to keep on improving your skills and knowledge about different instruments and the technologies for going higher up in the organization based on that. Also, regulatory sciences, almost all companies are requiring regulatory sciences. If you intend to go in pharmacovigilance kind of a course or study on the drug discovery part, pharmacology, toxicology will also play a role. So it all depends what you want to be and where you want to be. There are a lot more opportunities, and each fund in industry now for each of these roles, they really require and they look for experts in that field rather than just a basic B Farm or a general master's. So they are, looking for the experts in this field. They would prefer a master's in a particular field rather than BSc, MSc candidate or a general life science candidate.
Yeah, I think that was really helpful, Dr. Doshi. Just as an extension to what you were saying, I just wanted to ask now, when you said that they have to choose with a base on the what they want and the passion that they want. I think that is very, very important. And if you can just tell, why do you say that they have to pursue with in a subject that they have the passion? Because generally we see a lot of students, okay, it is Sutex or ecology, that is what they go for, and based on the admission that they get. Now, what would be the pitfall of just going into something like that?
So, I'll just share that, if you do not have, so people, when you are going through a bachelor's course, you go through various subjects, and then you realize, okay, this subject is something that I don't have to put in more efforts, but still I get good grades in this. But in reality, when you start applying for master's course, you may want to apply for a particular course and you may not get that particular course and you are offered an alternative course. And then that time, it's very obvious that you are confused whether you take that course or not take that course. I think you should, if I give my example, I actually waited till I get a subject of my choice and not jumping into something that is being offered to me. Because when you get a subject of your choice, it's less of a work for you and it's more of an interest, and you automatically excel in that particular field or area. So that is why I always say that you have to choose a subject that is for which you have a passion and uh, you know aptitude for that, rather than choosing a subject based on something that is everybody is choosing it and we just select that because we feel that, okay, that is the area where we want to be or where others are going, and therefore there will be more opportunities. Sometimes it's better to differentiate yourself based on your own ability and strengths rather than following something which is your either friend or a colleague or someone else is doing, or someone is giving you a guidance. You don't do that. You have to follow your heart and your passion and aptitude, and that is where platform can definitely help in identifying those kind of aptitude.
Thank you, Dr. Doshi.
Thank you, sir, for this clarification. Could you also enlighten us, the group, here as to after MPharm, what are the kind of job opportunities one could look after? And could you explain with this with few examples?
So after MPharm, as I mentioned, depending on the course you selected, there are a lot of opportunities nowadays. I would challenge all of you to not just look at pharmacy as a pharmacy course and do pharmacy from that perspective. Data analytics in healthcare industry, in pharmaceutical industry, particularly in marketing of pharmaceutical products, as well as in manufacturing sides of pharmaceutical industry, or for that matter any industry, is a lot more gaining importance nowadays. But conventional job opportunities like being a formulation scientist or analytical scientist or organic synthetist are already there. But besides this, regulatory science, PV, pharmacovigilance and toxicology is also gaining a lot more importance, as many domestic industry and Indian government have also started it necessary and mandatory to file pharmacovigilance reports annually. So this has become mandatory, and therefore there are a lot more opportunities over there. So again, it all depends, what you like to do. Biotechnology, MPharm or Masters in Biotechnology is also a very good opportunity, as many companies in India and abroad are now primarily focused on biotechnology-based drug discovery. You all have must also heard about CRISPR technology or gene editing technology, which is also gaining a lot of importance abroad. And the focus is over there is to prevent prevent disease or cure diseases using this technology. Medical device technology is upcoming in India, and now there are regulations. So that is also going to be a very good opportunity. Hoping that right now in medical devices, we do a lot of import, and there is a lot of emphasis by government to be self-reliant in medical device industry, and so that is also gaining a lot of importance nowadays.
Okay, so that was very helpful. Thank you, sir. Like many students are also in dilemma whether they should pursue MPharm in India or go overseas for their masters. And as a senior professional, having worked across globe, could you guide us? Is there any advantage of doing MS over MPharm? If yes, what is it?
It all depends where you want to work and live eventually. If I give my example, when I was doing my BPharm, many of my classmates were applying for GRE TOEFL, and they got admissions abroad. Uh, if you, it really doesn't matter from that perspective. Question is, if you go abroad, you have to be mindful that you will have to, in those courses, you will have to be away from your home, and those courses will have no connection to the industry that we have in India, because the pharmaceutical industry and the biotechnology industry over there is very different, and they are more focused on branded drugs and drug discovery. So if you choose these fields over there, you will definitely get jobs over there, but it would be more like a true scientist, and it may or may not offer you an opportunity to progress further in the career. The learnings and the experiments that you do over there are probably about 10-15 years ahead of what is being done in India. And so if you think that, okay, Manisha, can we have yourself mute, please? Yeah. So can you mute your mic, please? Okay, thank you. So if you think that, you want to come back after, or your family wants you to come back after masters in India, you will find that there is no direct application of what you have learned over there, and you will be at a loss over there because now you have to go all over again. So if you are going abroad for MS, you make sure that you spend good 10-15 years over there, and then you can start thinking about coming back, if at all you are thinking in that way. uh, Otherwise, doing masters over here or over there, it has equal opportunities for job. It's only that if you do masters over here, you will have job opportunities in India, and if you do MS over there, you will have job opportunities abroad, wherever you do that. um, so that's my take on that.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
For your
I would
insight.
just like to add something to what Dr. Doshi said. Yes, you have a lot of job opportunities in India because India is going to be the healthcare hub has been the healthcare hub in the last decade, and it is going to continue there. And the job opportunities, if you study there, you will have job opportunities overseas, but it comes with a lot of baggage, which is of being an international student. You have visa issues, you have other living issues. If you're able to handle all that and you're aware of that, you should be aware of that before you make that kind of a decision. Hope
Right.
I'm right, Dr. Doshi.
No, that's correct. So, again, I would, thanks, Geeta, for bringing that topic again. So, if you are financially secure and well-to-do, then you can take that risk of going abroad and do masters over there. Secondly, if you're going to do masters, either you choose European countries like Switzerland or Germany, um, or you choose US. Do not choose countries like Canada, Australia, or UK, because job opportunities over there are limited. Um, Opportunities in US are phenomenal if you are doing masters. The only issue with new laws of US for immigration is that you will not be automatically converted from your F1 to something where you have a EAD or work visa. You may have to continue doing postdoctorate or postdoctorate as a result, so that you can continue to stay there for a longer time, and then you might become eligible for F1 or H1. I don't remember the visa status, but to get H1, and then from H1 till you get a green card is a very long journey. You will always be under uh, kind of a dilemma, and you're not sure when you will get your H1, from H1 to green card, and then from green card another 5 years. So it's a long journey if you go to US, and if you are mentally prepared for that, then it's a right approach. But if you are not mentally prepared, or if your family needs are different, sometimes you may be mentally prepared, but then family needs might be different. You need to really think about it. And I would not advise people to go to Canada or UK or Australia, because these countries are not research-based countries. UK does have a lot of research, but uh, employment opportunities over there are very limited. US definitely has the largest share of research, and Switzerland, or company in Switzerland and Germany, has a lot more research being done rather than anywhere else. So that's my detailed view on where to go for a master's or MS if you want to go for MS.
Thank you so much, Dr. Doshi. I think that would have been really useful to most of the students here.
Thank you, sir, for your insights and perspectives on masters in pharmacy. That will be certainly very helpful to the many students who are deliberating whether to follow that path or not. Now, coming to yet another path one can take after BPharm is MBA, and I would like to address my first question to Ms. Geeta. When students are unsure of the path, how does one decide whether he or she should do MPharm or MBA?
Yeah, I think that is a dilemma that most students face today. Now, like Dr. Doshi said, getting a specialization after your BPharm, after the basic degree, is very, very important, and you should definitely look at it. Now, whether we should do MPharm or MBA, or for that matter, MS or whatever, depends exactly on what you would like to do later on in life. Now, the two paths are completely different. One is going into a technical path where you will go into the technical side of the business, and the other one is called the commercial path where you're going into the commercial side of the business. Now, if you do your MPharm, you are going into the industry, which is talking about, say, the production or the formulations, drug development, regulatory, clinical research, pharmacovigilance, and those kind of aspects. So you are not into the commercial side of the business, but more in terms of manufacturing, quality, and research, and doing the protocols for the business. Now, when you're talking about if you do not want to get into any of these lines, then it is something that you look at as MBA. Now, MBA is going to equip you with the management side, or the what we call as the commercial side. What do I mean by management? You are playing more of a supervisory role or a managerial role of the function. It could be various functions of the sales and marketing and various other functions, where your domain knowledge of being a pharmacist or a science student actually helps in the business side of the company or the organization. So that is what you would like to do. Like, are you wanting to be somebody who is managing the business on the commercial side, or you want to be somebody who is managing the operation side of the business? Once you are knowing what you would like to do there, that is what will decide on the path of whether you want to MPharm or MBA. I don't know whether that answers your question, Kunal.
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you for your guidance on this important dilemma most of the students have. So to Lakshmi ma'am, having decided on the path, one should be keen to know what kind of job opportunities one could seek after MBA. So could you please enlighten us on that?
Yes, sure. Am I audible?
Yeah, ma'am. Yes.
Once again, I request all the participants to mute their audio because there is some background noise coming up. Yeah, thanks. So sure, Kunal, like Geeta ma'am just mentioned about the two different paths. So again, I'll give a quick overview here about the job opportunities after MBA. What happens is, a pharmacist has done an MBA. Immediately, the thing is, they are going to do marketing. They'll take care of, product management, brand management, the sales, marketing. That's the kind of role that comes into one's mind. However, there are a lot of opportunities, beyond that, apart from being in the marketing division. So, like for example, I have been into market research after specializing in marketing during my MBA. Now, those days, nobody knew what market research is. So that is one of the option. There is also option in healthcare consulting firm, also general consulting firms like E&Y, KPMG, PwC, McKinsey, Bain. All these companies where they have life sciences division, and that's where pharmacist with the MBA gets an opportunity to work. Like Geeta mentioned, this is on the business side uh, that we are working. So these kind of consulting firms or even market research firms, they work for clients, companies, and we are looking at their business side of problems and trying to solve that. So that is another perspective or job opportunity. Also, here I'm specifically talking about general management. I'm not talking about hospital management, supply chain management, healthcare MBA. I'm not talking about these post graduation because then it becomes very niche. So what I have done is a general management, and this helps me do market research across pharma, FMCG, perfumery, all these sectors. So even finance sectors. So it opens up. MBA degree is versatile, so it opens up a lot of opportunities and widens your horizon. The moment you do a specialist MBA, then you are restricting yourself only to a particular sector. So other opportunities I would like to mention healthcare communication. Not many are aware of opportunities in healthcare communication, advertising, digital marketing, digital healthcare, business development. Also specifically, if I were to talk about finance industry, what happens is when we do a MPharm, we have this domain knowledge. Everything about pharmaceutical sciences, we have the domain knowledge. And in MBA, when we specialize in finance, or at times also dual specialization, finance and marketing. So we get knowledge about all the financial tools as well. So this kind of combination, helps us be an expert, in banks or insurance, private equity funds, venture capital funds, where they look for experts from a sector, and there is a role where we can, as pharmacists, give an overview about the pharma companies, write reports on them, give our insights about the sectors. All this, if you like, crunching numbers, if you like analysis, if you like to, do interpretations. So that is completely different kind of role, challenging as well as exciting. One more thing that I would like to add is, like Geeta mentioned, we have mentored over 75 students in the last 1 year and met more students. There are a lot of young pharmacists who want to become entrepreneurs, who aspire to be, I want to be an entrepreneur. Now, that is where MBA is going to help. A general MBA will definitely help to understand the business side, and also various functions like human resources, finance, operations, marketing, IT, everything put together. So this is also helpful if you want to become an entrepreneur. So I hope I have answered with examples. Anything else you would like to ask, Kunal, for the clarification?
Yeah, ma'am. I didn't realize that MBA opens up so many diverse opportunities. Thank you, ma'am. So, Geeta, ma'am, just as masters in pharmacy, MBA can also be pursued in India or abroad. So, is there any real difference between completing MBA in India and MBA overseas?
I think the same thing what Dr. Doshi talked about, masters in pharmacy in India versus MS overseas, it is exactly the similar thing, whether it is MPharm or MBA here versus MS or MBA there. Basically, you have to realize, one has to understand that, okay, do I want to go for studies and come back here, or do I just want to go there and remain there? If your long-term goal is that you would like to remain there, then that is the only reason why I would encourage you to go there. Because when you're going overseas to do any course, remember that not many students get scholarships these days, unlike about 20, 30 years ago. the kind of expenditure that you're going to do on your education is going to be very high. Adding to whatever Dr. Doshi talked about in terms of, the visa rules, etc. We also have for MBA the similar kind of thing, because at least when you go for your MS, you are a science student, particularly I'm talking of the US, where most people want to go. You're a science student, you're a STEM student, so you get an extended stay. But in many MBAs, that's not the case. India does have premium institutes, very good institutes which are offering MBA, and they do offer good employment opportunities here. So if it is something that you would like to remain here, I would advise that you should consider to stay in India. The only difference I can also see is in India, one can pursue MBA with 1 or 2 years of experience. Most MBA courses overseas require a minimum of 3 to 4 years of work experience, mainly because those MBA programs are very, case basis, approach basis, like, case study approach, where they analyze case studies across functions, etc. So that is the kind of difference between the MBA here and there. IIMs and probably ISB are someone who follow the case study approach for MBA in India, but most other institutes are more like an education where you learn and you write exams and get your MBA degree. So that's the difference that I would like to point out here.
Geeta, if I may add
Yeah,
something
please,
here.
Dr. Doshi.
So for the students, going through a BPharm course is just gaining the knowledge about a particular field of study or field, whereas master courses are more about, provoking your ability to think, whether it's MBA or it's MPharm. It's provoking your ability to think through a particular problem and finding a solution or finding different ways of solutions to it. So that's a basic training that you gain through a master's course. Whether it's a business challenge and a business problem that you need to solve, or a scientific challenge or a scientific problem. So that's so you have to then see yourself, what is your aptitude over here, and what would be good for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Hope
Yeah, I
the
think-
students, yeah, ma'am, you can continue.
Yeah, I think that was very, very important what Dr. Doshi said, because, as students, one doesn't think about these kind of issues. And hearing from an experienced professional like Dr. Doshi, who has not just remained in India, studied in India, worked overseas for a long number of years, and then now working here in India, I think this perspective coming from him is extremely, extremely valuable. Thank you, Doctor.
So those students, who think that they want to, so, opportunities to go abroad nowadays are not limited in India. Whether you have studied abroad or not, there are many professionals who might have studied just in India, but because many of those companies in India, they work abroad,
Yeah.
and they have clients abroad, or they have offices abroad. If you do well in India, and if there are opportunities, you will anyway be able to go abroad. So it's if you are destined, in a way, I will say that if you are destined, you will reach there, no matter how you think right now.
Hope the students here get some real help on this front. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. We have had great discussion till now, but all of us here are very keen to know from you, Dr. Doshi, that what qualities do you look in a candidate with BPharm, and a candidate in MPharm when you hire in your organization?
So as I mentioned earlier, the BPharm just gives you a domain knowledge. And so a candidate who is appearing for an interview immediately after BPharm, at least they should be very well versed with the theoretical knowledge and should be able to answer that. And I know that it might be challenging for many BPharm students because not all institutions have good library and good opportunity to gain that knowledge. But if you're really keen in getting job in your first few interviews, this is going to be a differentiator that what for whichever field you go, read about regulatory guidelines. If you're applying for the analytical role in an organization, then you go through what are the FDA guidelines for, certain validations or the analytical method developments. If you are applying for a regulatory role, then you need to understand what are the different processes or mechanisms of filing different dossiers. So, you need to, the point here is that for whichever role you are applying, you try and talk to people in industry to understand what role is this and what should I study before I apply, before I go for the interview. So we don't expect 100% correctness over there, but we see whether you have ability to learn and you have integrity towards it or not. Because if you are not prepared, it itself shows that, okay, you do not have, you are not interested in learning this topic or the subject. And therefore, it, it, it becomes an issue to hire as a candidate. So whether it's and when we talk about master's candidate, they would have done master's either by paper or by theory, by practicals. If you have done by practicals, know your topic very well. If you have used certain analytical technology or the formulation technology or whatever you have used, be very thorough with it. We don't expect you to know everything in the world or in the pharmaceutical world. But whatever you have done, have you really scientifically understood that and understand the technique? Say, for example, if you are using UV spectrophotometer for the analysis, do you know what is a Beer-Lambert law? If you are using HPLC for the analysis, do you know what is a chromatographic technique is and what are different chromatographic techniques? So you can definitely, in days when we were learning, we didn't have Google or mobile. Nowadays, you have everything, but social media, I'm preaching here, but let me be very clear about it. You all there are a lot of distractions. So at this age, you need to focus on what you want to use your tools for, like Google or mobile phones. You can easily Google and you will get what is a chromatographic technique. You will get 20 articles and you can select some relevant ones and then read them before you come for an interview.
Now, that was really, really very helpful. I am assuming all the students will appreciate this advice. Yeah, thank you, Doctor.
Yes. Thank you, sir. So before we conclude, I would like to ask Dr. Doshi and Ms. Lakshmi, any advice you would like to give to the students?
Yeah, I would just say don't get disappointed or disheartened by your first interview. See it as your learning opportunity. And if you are applying for masters, go for it. But it doesn't mean that you have to do it in one go. For some people, and this is very common in Western world where they take breaks between their undergrad program or the master program. That's just to understand the industry and understand whether they would want to work in one area or the other area. So I don't know whether your family and the Indian social situations will allow you to do that, because for some of you, there might be pressure to earn. Some of you, there might be pressure to get married. But be focused on your goal and start thinking about strategizing your career and personal life right from these days. It's very important to have clarity on what you want to achieve and what you want to do.
Thank you, doctor.
Thank you. That was very useful. So to add to what Dr. Doshi said, students who are wanting to do MBA specifically, or for that matter, other masters as well. I would like to say that read a lot. Apart from your academics, please read. If you're going for MPharm, the technical post graduation, please do read the scientific articles. Try to understand and make sense of what it is saying. Similarly, even in MBA, if you read a lot of business articles, you will try and understand what's happening there. It's not about just mugging up the academics part. That's one thing I would like to say. And Dr. Doshi definitely said about students getting distracted. I would like to say, please use mobile phone to plan your calendar. Use Google Calendar to set up time, reminders for your studies and things like that. So and organize yourself. Checking emails and etc. Students these days don't do that. They probably apply for a job, and when the companies reply to them, they forget to check emails and they do not appear for interviews. We have seen students doing that. So please, these basic things you should always remember and focus and do that.
So,
thank you.
Are you taking...
Dr. Doshi, sorry.
No, I think there are a lot of questions in the chat box. Or
I just wanted to add that, while you're focusing on your technical skills, students in the third and final year start polishing on your soft skills as well, because I think that is extremely important. The way your communication, the way you present yourself, and your interview techniques, I think these are something that you should start looking at as well. Yeah. So I think, yes, there are some questions on the chat box.
Yeah, ma'am. Before that, thank you so much, sir and ma'am. I'm sure each one of us are sitting here would have a few learnings from today's session. We thank you, Dr. Doshi, for taking time out on your weekend to spend time in explaining about some of the finer aspects in our career decision making and future career paths. Geeta ma'am and Lakshmi ma'am, we thank you for your guidance too. Now I would like to open this forum for the audience for their further questions. So I think there are already questions.
Yeah, there are some questions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Question.
The first one is studying MBA in abroad is good, or in India it is good? And in India, then where is good machinery to learn MBA well? So, ma'am, can you take this?
Yeah, I think I did touch upon whether MBA abroad or India. I think we covered a lot on this question. And like I said, good machinery to learn MBA. It's basically there are very good institutes and you have to work really hard to get into those institutes. Indian Institute of Management is one, but of course everybody doesn't get into IIM, but there are many other institutes in Bombay and in other cities as well. So we have a lot of options. I hope that has answered the question of Palash.
Yeah. That is the next question. What is the best course after MPharm? So can you answer that?
Yeah, the best course after MPharm, I think Dr. Doshi covered it when he said that, when you're finishing MPharm, it is only giving you the basic qualification. Don't just look for MPharm. He said, you can look beyond pharmacy also, like the MSc, data analytics, in those kind of courses. Would you like to add anything to that, Dr. Doshi?
So, am I audible? Yeah. So, Mancha, what is it that you like to do is the best course? And if you, when you were going through all the courses, you would have definitely found that certain subjects were easy for you to follow than the other subjects. So probably that's the best course for you to do. Um, and so I personally do not like to prescribe that this course is good or this course is not so good. Because, when you look at the professional field, everyone in each field, you will find people have succeeded. And they have succeeded only because of their passion. If you are asking, which courses have good job opportunities in India, maybe data analytics is one, regulatory science is one, quality assurance, quality control. Also, I did mention regulatory sciences also, and pharmacovigilance. These are good opportunities right now in India because it's in demand from after BPharm. Formulation scientists are getting limited. Job as a formulation scientist are getting limited because there are not too many new development being done. It's not a boom like a generic industry in 84s in 1984 Hatch-Waxman. There is not a big boom like that now, and there is not a big patent cliff coming. And even if there is a patent cliff, it's more about uh, biologics and sterile dosage form. So if you are doing, say, pharmaceutics, you should be focused on selecting, a sterile dosage form and learning a lot more about sterile dosage forms rather than oral solids. These are some of the questions. And I think your follow-up question is, how do you get job after BPharm? There is a government, if you are just passing BPharm, there is a government website where you can apply for apprentice training, and then you then can be selected as an apprentice somewhere immediately after BPharm. You would be preferably, if you like to stay there for about a year, then that's better, because if you stay there only for 3 to 5, 6 months, you would just end up spending a lot of time in just reading SOPs and not doing actual any work. We do take at USV, we do take apprentice training, but we take them for about a year or 2 year, so that we also gain some advantage of having you in our company. So just if you want to look at it from that perspective, you can ask. I don't know whether universities do offer this kind of counseling, and they guide students for where to apply for the apprentice job, and on which government website they can do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. To the next question, Palash is asking that what are the major scope for MBA? Ma'am,
I think this got covered in the session that this thing, I am sure, Palash, that would have answered the question. Can we go to the next one, Kunal?
Yes, ma'am. So Jatin has posted that how internship helps in getting in a job in pharmaceutical company.
So who wants to take this?
You can take it, Dr. Doshi.
So you can.
Yeah. So internships, because when you just come out of an undergrad program like BPharm, as I've mentioned, it's just you have gained some domain knowledge. But we all know that, students, we all have been a student, so we would not have domain knowledge about all the subjects to the same skill level. So when you start working as an apprentice or internship in pharmaceutical company, it helps you understand whether a field you like it or not, and also depending on your own aptitude, whether you perform good in that field within the company or not. So you are at least gaining an experience over there, which you can put in your resume, and you would have definitely gained knowledge about a slightly richer knowledge about one or two skills, whether it's a formulation skill, analytical skill, regulatory science, whatever it is. Yeah, which will make you, more eligible for subsequent job interviews, and sometimes companies have attrition there itself, and they would like to have a person who has undergone all the training, and they would like to absorb those individuals if they are really doing well as an intern.
Yeah, I think that should have answered Jatin's question. I hope it was useful to you, Jatin.
Yeah, ma'am. Adding to it, he has also asked that when should we do internship, during the BPharm course or after the BPharm course?
During the
Dr. Doshi.
BPharm course, you are not having enough time between your semesters. So if you get an opportunity to work somewhere, you can join a company, but I'm not sure whether you will learn a lot, because you will be there at hardly for a month or two, and then you will again have to go back and attend courses. I would prefer that you complete your BPharm and then focus on your internship, because then you can stay there for a longer time. And it when you stay in an organization for a longer time, about a year, you automatically have more chances of being hired by that organization than just being there for about a month or two.
Yeah, and Dr. Doshi, I just also want to add here and ask you also, like even after they work for about a year or year and a half, if somebody wants to go back and do their masters, is it a common practice, or generally you complete MPharm in one go?
So I personally think that taking an internship after undergrad is a good idea, rather than just
Yes.
joining
Yeah.
a master's course or MBA course, because that gives you time to prepare for your master's exam or the MBA exam. At the same time, gives you exposure to industry, and it gives both the experience, the domain knowledge experience, and also soft skills of how to interact with peers, colleagues, boss, supervisor. Because till this time, you all are in a bubble where you all have been protected to a great extent, and so some of you are good at those soft skills by interacting with your friends and colleagues and other extracurricular activities. Some of you may not be that good, so this gives you an opportunity to learn those skills as well.
Yeah, great answer. Thank you, doctor.
Okay, so the next question is that why do students pursue masters abroad? So can you take that?
Why do students pursue masters abroad?
Yeah.
Now, this is a very personal kind of question. I think Dr. Chetan can answer. I'll give you my take on it. One is, it is, they want to get out of this place, from home or whatever. I think that's the first answer that comes to my mind. While going abroad, living independently, it gives a different kind of learning. It gives a different kind of confidence. And the person who goes abroad and does everything by himself turns out to be a very confident individual in the long run. And maybe, to get a different kind of a global exposure. Probably these are the two reasons I would think of. What do you think, Dr. Doshi?
Geeta, I think, yeah, you're absolutely correct, saying that some of them definitely want to go away because of their social circumstances or environment over here within their family. Some of them are really curious about the science being pursued abroad, and they have or science, or they have just this image, as we have seen it in social media and other places, through TV or other places, that everything is good over there, and so they think that going abroad means there are no issues, no hassles, and that's why they want to go there. And some of them are really aware of all the pros and cons, and still want to be there because they just think that that is a place where they want to settle down.
Right.
So there, all these three or various kind of issues are there, but I think at the root of it is, are they really wanting to create their own identity or not? that is at the root of it, because many times if they stay here, their family would probably insist that, okay, you take this in this particular area also or not. And sometimes it's also social motivation that, okay, parents and even they themselves feel that, okay, I've been in abroad, so that social uh, motivation is there. We still see that going abroad is a matter of pride and in society, and that's why people may be driven from that perspective also, because they see that their neighbors, their relatives, kids going abroad, and there might be an expectation that, okay, you go abroad, or they might be motivating, the parents or family members might be motivating that you go abroad and do all of this. I would, to students, I would just give one piece of advice, and just follow your heart. uh, don't go by what others are saying, because you have to be comfortable being out there, wherever you are. And if you are not comfortable, you will go through your own pains. Eventually you will adjust and accommodate. You all are very resilient. You will adjust and accommodate everything. You are quick learners too. So you are much quick learners than some of our generations. So you will achieve a lot of things in your life, but resilience is one of the things that you will have to keep in mind.
Okay.
Fantastic piece of advice.
Thank you, sir. So, next question. Govind asked that how to know that I have particular skill set or inclinations that will make me successful in MBA or MPharm. Ma'am, would you like to take this?
Yeah, how will I identify whether I have a particular skill or not? It depends upon your strengths, like Dr. Doshi said, your passion, and where exactly where you would like to be after, say, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. What is it that will make you the happiest? What will you enjoy the most? That is what you should be following. That is what he talked about as passion. Now, there are certain inherent qualities of each of us. We do not, we cannot change it unless we try a lot. Now, those inherent qualities may be suiting certain kinds of functional areas or the strengths that we have, those kind of jobs. Now, if you identify that, I think you will be happy, you will be successful, and you can grow. So probably you need to identify the skill set of yours, what are your qualities, and then accordingly choose what you would like to choose. Would you like to add anything, Dr. Doshi?
Yeah, Govind, I'll give you an example of myself. After BPharm, I was not sure what I wanted to do, to be very frank. And I definitely did not want to go abroad, so I didn't pursue that. In India, I did not know what should I be doing. So I started working as a medical rep, to be very frank, for the first few months for one of the Indian companies. And within 3 to 6 months of working as a medical rep, I realized that this is not something that I want to do. And this is where your internship after BPharm plays a big role. This is not something that I want to do. So then I started preparing for GATE exams, cleared my GATE exams, and then started doing masters. After completing masters, I took up a job because of my family circumstances. I worked for about 2 years in pharmaceutical company in R&D as a formulation scientist. And I realized that if I want to, I like research, and I like being part of the, creating formulations. And I realized that if I want to continue, and if I want to achieve the highest position in the R&D field, I need to have PhD. So I went back after 2 years and completed PhD.
सब लगातार ही पढ़ाई करना पड़ेगा, आप लगता है?
नहीं, जरूरी नहीं है अगर आपको नहीं करना है तो।
ले लो, जरूरी नहीं आपको नहीं करना।
Okay, let's
if you
take the
don't,
next question. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So the next,
No, so
yeah,
to
sir.
that person, life is a continuous learning. So don't take it seriously, whether you learn it in the school or outside of school. But it's always a learning. When it's learning within your social circumstances, it's learning at a professional place also, and personally also.
Okay, so the next question is how should one choose a field of study or work based on the pay scale or interest?
I think we have talked
Answered
much
that.
on this.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think we will not touch upon this now. Yeah, what's the next question?
Yeah, what are the different types of MBA? Like in the full-time MBA, correspondence MBA, or executive?
Yeah. Lakshmi, do
So
you
there
want to
are,
answer this?
yeah, sure. So definitely full-time MBA correspondence, which is called as also distant MBA program, and executive MBA. There are also options of part-time MBA, which is only for working people. So at least you need to have 3 years of work ex, and you can simultaneously do your MBA part-time, which is like evening classes. So yeah, these are the things. And for correspondence, there are Symbiosis, NMIMS, all these institutes offer correspondence. Distant MBA, also IGNOU, so they also offer correspondence courses.
Okay, so the next question is what will be the best country for MS or MBA if studying overseas?
I think that was answered by Dr. Doshi. Can we
Yeah.
go to the next question?
Okay, so Ankita is asking, does the reputation of the university matter when we choose to go for higher studies?
Dr. Doshi?
I think in general that matters because it's like, uh, getting your first job, it definitely matters. But after your first job, it really doesn't matter that much because then it is your own performance in those jobs which will take you further. But sometimes first to get a first job, it definitely does matter because you have your alumni and a network of students who have gone, in industry, and if they are in the interview panel, they would have definitely some idea about how this university or how this college is, and they would make those decisions based on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Doctor.
Yeah, so the next question is, do you require work experience for MBA?
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
like, do you
Yeah.
require rather than asking? So, do you require? Yeah, we would say that it is a must to have a work experience before going for MBA. Like, if I were to give my experience, I worked for 3 years in the pharma industry, and only then I decided to do MBA, and it actually helped applying all what I had experienced in the work. I could apply that during my MBA education. It's not about rote learning, just going with the textbook thing. It's most of case-based studies. So the work experience helps us relate to those concepts and help us understand better. So we would advise always having work experience before you go for MBA. Anything you would like to add, Geeta?
No, I think that answered the question. Yes.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, ma'am. So I think that's it for the questions. So now I would like, on behalf of platform, I would like to express sincere thanks to Dr. Chetan Doshi and the founders of platform for taking the time to address us and give an understanding on how to go about deciding the next good step. I would like to express my thanks to all the participants on this forum today